Hi, it's time for another Treehouse tutorial, this time on relative clauses. This can be found in the Year 5-6 curriculum, and it's nothing to do with anyone in your family or to do with Christmas, despite the name of the title. So what we're actually looking at today here is extending our sentences in an effective way. Okay, so I'm going to throw lots of different vocab at you in this short video. So the first one here is for us to consider what every sentence needs. So every sentence must have subject and a verb. Okay, so we've got here subject Theo, the verb ran. Okay, you might be thinking, what a rubbish sentence, how short is that? But I'm trying to break things down to the very easiest form at the moment. Okay, so Theo ran is actually an acceptable full sentence as it is, but it's not really telling us much information at the moment, is it? So what we look to do with relative clauses is we look to add further information into a sentence, specifically about the subject. Okay, so in this case, if we were rewriting this sentence, we want to give more information about this subject Theo. Okay, so we could say, for instance, Theo, who was, good grief, it's not the greatest W in the world, is it? Who was energetic. And then we complete the sentence. Ran. Now, obviously, we could be improving that as we go. We could be adding an adverb in at the end to give us some further information about how he ran. But this is just one example of how we can extend that sentence using a relative clause. Okay, so some more vocab that's coming in here is that we have got, in the relative clause, we begin with something called a relative pronoun. Okay, so that's going to be a relative pronoun there. Who. Other relative pronouns include which or that, or less commonly where. So we've got a number of relative pronouns that can begin relative clauses. Okay, this is, the relative clause itself is a type of subordinate clause. It cannot stand on its own, unlike this main clause here. Okay, so you've got the relative clause, which is adding that extra information. The last thing to sort of consider on this is your type of punctuation. This is where we'll have some people screaming at the screen saying, yeah, I know what you've missed so far, and things like that. So we've got Theo, who was energetic, ran. We want to actually ask our reader to pause and to signify the fact that there is a relative clause in there. So we can use three different types of punctuation. And the first of these is you could use commas to signify this relative clause, or to demarcate it rather. You could instead use dashes. Now this is pair of, okay, not one of the other, but a pair of. Or you could use brackets. Okay, so there's just a whistle stop tour of relative clauses. I hope that's useful.